Okay, let's talk about your internal dialogue, because this is one of the most important things that you can take control of to create a better life for yourself, to feel more confident, to feel more powerful, to increase your self-esteem. Now, often when I talk to people about internal dialogue, they say, come on, man, like I don't talk to myself. I'm not crazy. But here's the thing. By their definition, we are all crazy because we all talk to ourselves. Even right now, as you're watching this video, I'm sure that you have that internal dialogue saying all types of things. You may be pondering about, should you keep watching this video? Maybe you should watch Netflix instead. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because now I gave you an idea, but you may be pondering about that call you will be doing later, or you have to talk to your spouse about something really important and you may be wondering about that. But we always keep talking to ourselves inside of our minds, like from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep. In fact, when we dream, a lot of those things come up. So the tricky thing is that so many of us just let it go, right? We don't take any control of our internal dialogue. And when it becomes really negative, we simply assume, well, I guess this is the way it's supposed to be. You may have this internal dialogue that says all of those negative things, but it's easy to make an assumption, well, this is who I am, that's it. Just keep going, go with the flow. But it doesn't have to be like this. And we have more control than we think we have. The problem is that a lot of the negative internal dialogue is just habitual. It became a habit because when you keep saying to yourself certain things on a daily basis, it just becomes a habit. And eventually it's easy to become a negative person, right? You wake up in the morning, you look at the sky, you see a bunch of clouds. I can't believe clouds again. So cold, I can't be bothered to get out of the house. Oh, kids are crying again. And it's easy to get sucked into that negative loop. But when you recognize the fact that you can control your internal dialogue, then you can do something about it. And what I encourage you to do is whenever you catch yourself thinking negative thoughts, try to reframe them right away. Just reframe them. When you wake up in the morning, say with the clouds, you have that thought of like, oh, it's so cloudy, I can't believe once again. And you get into this negative rant. Once you recognize that it's happening, and look, it won't be easy. I have to tell you, initially it won't be easy, but once you recognize it's happening, stop. Take a deep breath, just take a deep breath or take a few deep breaths and reframe it and say something positive to yourself, right? Like when you look at those dark clouds, say to yourself, it's fine. At least it's gonna be fresh, right? More oxygen for my brain, whatever, right? When kids are crying, instead of being like, oh, those damn kids crying all the time, again, take a deep breath and just reframe and say, you know what? I'm so glad that my kids are healthy. I'm so happy that my kids are alive. Yeah, they may be crying, but that means that they are here with me. And so many people don't have that privilege. So many people have kids that are sick. So it's about, again, reframing negative into positive and catching yourself whenever you engage in that negative internal dialogue. The same thing applies to you talking to yourself about yourself. Now, this sounds even more crazy, right? Why would you talk to yourself about yourself? But we all do it to some extent. You may be thinking, I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can do that. I definitely can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not talented. I don't have what it takes, right? We all say this to ourselves from time to time. The problem happens when you keep saying this to yourself habitually, when this becomes your reality, when on a daily basis you keep doubting yourself and you keep saying those negative things to yourself. Say someone wants to jump on a call with you and the first thing that comes to your mind is, why would I even want to talk to me? Like, I'm not that interesting of a person. Like, what if I feel anxious? What if I get rejected? What if I say something stupid, right? And we often tend to keep asking ourselves those really negative questions. And what you got to do is the moment you recognize what's happening, you have to turn it around and you have to reframe it into something positive. So, example with that call, instead of doubting yourself inside of your own head, just take a deep breath, take that pause, and just reframe. It's like, you know what? I actually feel really good about this call because I am a worthy person. I am good enough. I am a valuable individual, right? I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be respected, and I'm going to enjoy that call. The more you reframe negative into positive, the easier it's gonna become. And that should be actually the new habit that you develop, especially in this time of the COVID lockdown. A lot of you watching this are on a lockdown now. Speaking of which, cool thing that you can do, and this is taking all of this to the next level, is to verbally reframe what you are thinking, okay? So one thing is to take some of those negative thoughts and turn them into positive thoughts, especially if you are in a public place. You are doing all of this in your head. But especially if you are in the comfort of your home, and again, if you are in a lockdown, then you spend pretty much all of your time or most of your time in your flat, your home, with your family members or your friends, people that you trust. At least I hope that this is the case with you. Then you can verbally reframe those negative thoughts. So if you are saying something negative to yourself or about the situation, just take that pause, take a deep breath, and then say out loud how you could look at the situation or yourself in a positive way, right? If your internal dialogue tells you, I'm not good enough, I don't think if I can do it, I never make things work, I don't know, it's just always make things worse, I'm just not good enough, I don't feel like I'm a worthy individual. When you feel those, and when you think those thoughts, stop, just stop. Take that deep breath and then say out loud, I appreciate myself, I love myself, I respect myself, I have what it takes, people respect me, people value me, I'm a person that's worthy of love, right? I just made this up, this is an example. But the point is, when you reframe those negative thoughts by actually verbalizing them as positive things, that's gonna create even bigger impact, okay? So really, this video may sound a bit like, it's one of those woo type of things, probably won't help you that much. Actually, this is one of the most powerful things you can do to positively impact your level of confidence and self-esteem, because once again, the most important conversations you will ever have are not those conversations with your boss or your spouse or your kids. The most important conversations you'll ever have are the conversations you have with yourself inside of your head. If you can control this here, if you can control your internal dialogue, you are so much more likely to feel good about yourself, to be more positive, to be more inspired, to be more confident, and then in long term to increase your self-esteem. So when you look in the mirror, you like what you see, so you love yourself, so you fully accept yourself.